Welcome to Daily Wisdom, Walking the Path with the Buddha, a podcast shared by David Roylance. This podcast is dedicated to guiding you to completely eliminate the discontent mind and the suffering it causes by attaining enlightenment. Learn and practice the teachings of Gautama Buddha that will guide you to fully attain a peaceful, calm, serene, and content mind with joy. To support this podcast, visit patreon.com/support Buddha or visit buddhadailywisdom.com, where you will discover a full range of courses, retreats, and online learning resources to assist you on the path to enlightenment. Now, here's our teacher to share more.
Sawadee Kap. Hello and welcome to Daily Wisdom, Walking the Path with the Buddha. Today is our group learning program, and on Wednesdays, I do guided meditation with you guys. And then afterwards, I open up to any and all questions that you guys might have. Welcome to all of you, whether you're joining us for the first time or you're joining regularly. What I'm going to do today is a guided loving kindness meditation. We're going to start with the chanting to ease into meditation. Then I'm going to come in with guidance for the breathing mindfulness meditation. And we'll just go for a period of time where we're just doing breathing mindfulness meditation. Then I'm going to come back in with guidance on loving kindness meditation. We'll go back to the breathing mindfulness meditation, and then we're going to come out with the chanting again. So welcome again to all of you guys, whether you're joining in Facebook, YouTube, or Zoom, whether you're joining for the first time or you've been joining regularly. If you'd like to join for meditation, just pull up a meditation cushion or a chair or whatever it is that you like. As I mentioned, I'm going to ease into meditation with the chanting, and you're welcome to join along if you like, and then I'll come back with the guidance. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Bhutang Bhagavanang Abhivateyami Savakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipano Bhagavato Sāvaka Saṅkho Saṅghang Namami Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Iti pisu Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho Vicacaranang Sammuno Sakato Rokavito Anutero Purisa Dhamma Sati Satatawa Manusarang Bhuto Bhagavati. Okay, with the lower body and hands and arms comfortable, in the upper body erect. Just close the eyes and start breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Here you're just looking to establish the breath. A nice, natural, steady, consistent breath. Not forced or controlled, just a gradual inhale through the nose, experiencing the full breath. And then when you're ready, exhale out through the nose. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. Your breath may not match up with the guidance that I'm providing, and that's okay. This is your practice. I'm just here for guidance. You can use this voice as a reminder that whenever you get to the next inhale, breathing gradually through the nose, developing a nice, natural, steady, consistent breath. And then whenever you're ready, exhale out through the nose. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. With the breath well established, start fixating the mind on the breath, either the sound of the breath coming into the nose or the sensation of air moving over the skin into the nose. The breath is the present moment. Fixate the mind on the breath, the present moment. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. With the mind fixated on the breath, whenever you notice that it moves off the breath, cut that off, let it go, and come back to the breath, the present moment. No need to observe the thought, label it, judge it, analyze it, or even try to figure out where it's coming from. Whenever you notice that the mind is moved off the breath, cut that off, let it go, and come back to the breath, the present moment. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. I'm going to be quiet now and let you do this work of focusing on the breath, cutting off and letting go anytime the mind moves off the breath. Then I'll be back with more guidance on loving kindness meditation. You have nowhere to go. There's nothing to do. No one needs you right now. This is your time to focus on the breath. Breathing in and out. Continuing to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Repeat these affirmations in the mind on the out breath. May I be peaceful. May I be safe. May I be well. May I be free of all discontentedness in the suffering it causes. May Mom and Dad be peaceful. May they be safe. May they be well. May they be free of all discontentedness in the suffering it causes. May my family, friends, co-workers, and neighbors all be peaceful. May they be safe. May they be well. May they be free of all discontentedness in the suffering it causes. May all those who have harmed me be peaceful. May they be safe. May they be well. May they be free of all discontentedness in the suffering it causes. May all those who I have harmed be peaceful. May they be safe. May they be well. May they be free of all discontentedness in the suffering it causes. May all beings, wherever they reside, be peaceful. May all beings be safe. May all beings be well. May all fellow beings, be free of discontentedness in the suffering it causes. Now go back to breathing mindfulness meditation, focusing on the breath, cutting off and letting go anytime the mind moves off the breath. Breathing in and out. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Photang Bhagavanang Abhivateyami Savakato bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang namasami Supatipano bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Sanghang Namami Namo Arhasa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Arhasa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Arhasa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Iti piso bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho Vichacharanang Sammuno Sakato Rokavitu Anutero Purisa Dhammasati Satatava Manusanang Bhutto Bhagavati. Okay, if you guys would like to slowly make your way out of meditation. Once again, welcome all of you guys to today's class, whether you're joining in Facebook, YouTube, or Zoom. Welcome to everyone. I'm going to open up to questions of anything you guys would like to ask, whether you're in Facebook, YouTube, or Zoom. You're welcome to ask any and all questions that you like about the teachings of the Buddha or any challenges you're having or anything you'd like to ask in order to get moving forward on the path to enlightenment. You can put your questions in the comment section of Facebook, YouTube, or Zoom. Or in Zoom, you can electronically raise your hand and then just unmute your microphone and we'll be able to hear you and I'll be able to answer your question. So is there anybody that has questions either in Facebook, YouTube, or Zoom? Okay, looks like Helena has a question. Go ahead, ma'am.
Thank you. So, Teacher David, what's the difference between a regular enlightened being and a Buddha in terms of their memory capacity?
The memory of a Buddha is very extensive, very deep. They have memory of their past lives, a lot of their memories in the past lives, the existences that they were in, what they did in those existences, and the wisdom that they've cultivated through those existences. And then they have countless recall about their current life and everything that's going on in their current life all the way back to, very early in childhood. They have very clear memories of all the things they've been learning all the way through their life. And then they put that all together to be able to then share the teachings because they've been able to get to enlightenment by themselves by culminating all that wisdom. And then they use that wisdom and that memory in order to then share the teachings. They're still going to, even a Buddha or enlightened being, they're still going to have, a little lapse of memory here and there. Like somebody was asking me this week that, I came into the temple and I forgot that I had the truck. I thought I had the motorbike. And somebody was like, oh, shouldn't you have remembered that? You should have remembered you had the truck, maybe you're not enlightened. And of course, I don't tell people whether I am or not enlightened. It's not something I share. But you're going to have little things like that where, like, I'm just so used to bringing in the motorbike every day. I said in the temple, in the classroom, like, oh, I can, take you guys on the motorbike. And then when we went outside, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. I brought the truck. So there's going to be like little things like that an individual is going to have a memory lapse of. But a Buddha is going to have an extensive, deep, very profound memory, especially when it comes to the teachings and the wisdom of the teachings. They're going to be able to recall the teachings very easily and teach very effortlessly. An enlightened being is still going to have a good memory, but they're not going to have the same memory as an individual who has gotten to enlightenment by themselves without the help of any teachers and guides, like a Buddha. An enlightened being is going to have a pretty decent memory. When it comes to the teachings, they're going to have a very good memory. They'll have all the teachings in the mind permeating. But in terms of like what they did in the past or conversations they had in the past, they're not going to have those memories because they would have deleted all of that in order to store the new files that they have. So they won't have recall of like countless conversations and different things. A Buddha just has such a profound memory. It's like they can remember so many details of so many aspects of their current life and their previous lives. It's like, it's hard to explain to you, but like, think about it like this. Like a Buddha could tell you essentially all their different phone numbers that they've had throughout their life. They could tell you the numbers of the houses that they've lived at, the street numbers, the street names, they could tell all their names of the teachers that they've had in their, starting probably in like grade 2 all the way through all their teachers. They could tell you every single name of their teacher. They could tell you so many countless details like this because they've been accumulating this wisdom, and they just are able to recall this stuff so easily. And like I mentioned, not just about this life, but previous lives as well.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's amazing how much memory a Buddha actually has. Okay, it looks like Julia has a question here. Thank you, Teacher David. Can you explain what a gut instinct is? Sometimes there are times when I think a business move may be advantageous financially, but I have doubts with the people I'm working with, etc. I don't know them well, but I have a weird gut feeling. I'm wondering if that is an aversion from the past. When we talk about gut feeling, this is just kind of like something you're thinking about because, of course, your gut, the stomach, can't have any feelings because it's just a physical organ. This is just something in the mind that you're thinking about, and you're considering this particular thing. And you might have a certain inclination or a certain thought that one particular option might be better than the other. And these are things that the mind's thinking about. But you shouldn't think about it as anything more than that. You need to still look at each individual decision that you're making to determine what is wise and unwise, because on the surface, you're not interested in just reacting. If you have some thought in your mind and then just react and just run with it, this is unwise. You would like to, whatever is going on in the mind, what you might call a gut feeling, but just any kind of inclination in the mind, you would like to think that through. Look at all the possibilities of the pros and the cons and decide what would be wise, particularly like a business move, because there's a certain financial cost with that, certain building of clientele, because some clientele aren't going to come with you and things like this. So you're going to need to look at those kinds of impactful decisions very closely. So anything that's in your mind that you have an inclination to do, don't just run with it and react to it. Instead, you're interested in responding to any situations or any kind of thoughts that you have. And by thinking it through thoroughly, you'll be able to do that and then make sure you're implementing careful decisions. And each decision that you're implementing, pay careful attention to it, because anytime you make a decision, it's either going to produce wholesome results or unwholesome results. So you'd like to pay very close attention to any decisions that you're making so that you can ensure that there's as much wisdom in those decisions as possible. Okay, so it looks like Hans has a question. Go ahead, sir.
Hello. Out of that explanation, I wonder if feelings are real or feelings are just something that happens in the mind. Is that a separate thing, or is it just the mind?
It's actually both of those things. The feelings are inside the mind and they are real. They're real feelings. People experience these things, but it's all happening inside the mind based on craving, desire, attachment. Whenever we talk about feelings, these are conditional experiences that the mind's having. You were in class this morning. I don't know what time you joined, but I think you heard me probably talking about craving, desire, attachment, and the mind forms pleasant feelings, painful feelings, and neither painful nor pleasant. Did you hear that this morning, Hans?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So this is what we call feelings. They're conditional feelings. It's based on some condition. Like if it's sunny outside, I'll be happy, or not me, but somebody will be happy. And then if it's raining, they'll be sad or frustrated or agitated because it's a conditional feeling. And because that condition of the sun isn't permanent, the happiness isn't permanent. Or if you base your inner feelings on like your bank account, well, now you have that happiness when your bank account is a certain balance, but then when it goes below that, you might be sad or frustrated or annoyed because the mind is basing its feeling of happiness on the condition that is essentially impermanent. All these things are impermanent. One of the biggest tips on the path to enlightenment is an individual needs to be able to see the pleasant feelings as being just as much of a problem as the painful ones. And remember, these are conditioned pleasant feelings, that if your mind gets a pleasant feeling based on some condition, that means when that condition isn't there, and all these conditions are impermanent, so it will change, it's only a matter of time, then your mind's going to end up in the painful feelings. So you need to be able to watch your mind with mindfulness, notice any conditional pleasant feelings arising, and cut that off and let it go. I don't think you've learned the entire path with me yet, but if you would like to learn the entire path, you'll be able to learn all the factors of the path so that you can train the mind and get ahead of these conditional pleasant feelings so that you can get to the unconditioned happiness and joy.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right. So yeah, they're the same things. Thanks for your question, Hans. All right. Let me see if we have any questions on Facebook or YouTube. It looks like we have something here on YouTube. Oh, just Ted giving a big thank you from Ted and Kristen or Connecticut. My wife's in Connecticut right now. I'm not sure if you guys are with her or not. Probably not. Yang, you have a question. Go ahead, ma'am.
Yes, thank you, Teacher David. I wanted to ask about the phenomena of one's mind could be sometimes zoning out, and sometimes or more often happens when there's nothing happening. Maybe someone's just sitting at the home and nothing's happening and nothing needs to do, and it's just zoning out, and the mind is not really thinking about anything, but also feels like not really related to the moment.
Yeah, this is a lapse of mindfulness and a lapse of concentration. By the time you get to enlightenment, you're going to be aware of your mind at all times. Whatever is going on in the mind, you'll be aware of it all the time. Even by the time you are like moving through the jhanas and the stages of enlightenment, you're going to know what's going on in the mind. So if you're just sitting somewhere and the mind's like off in la land and you just don't even have awareness of what's going on in the mind, this is because the mindfulness isn't fully developed and the singleness of mind or concentration isn't fully developed. So where you see that the mind is doing that, where it's wanting to wander off, catch it as soon as possible and bring it back. Because as it wanders like that, it dwells in that, and now it's harder and harder to get it back. So you would like to catch it before it runs away like that and before it's gone for too long.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Would you also say these phenomena also has a corresponding bodily sensation before it occurs?
The wandering of the mind doesn't have a bodily sensation. It's only the conditioned feelings that are going to have a bodily sensation. The pleasant, painful, and neither painful nor pleasant. Usually people become aware of those bodily sensations with the painful feelings more readily because they're more noticeable, they're more strong, and people don't like those painful feelings. But the pleasant feelings even have a bodily sensation. They're usually more subtle, but the more you develop your mindfulness, the more aware you'll be of those.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Okay. Thank you, Ted and Kristen. And I don't see anything on Facebook, and there's nothing else in Zoom either. So what I'll do then is just end by saying thank you to all of you guys for joining. I appreciate that you're interested in developing your practice here while developing your loving kindness meditation and asking all kinds of questions and things like that. I know that you guys are studying at home as well. There's books, there's audiobooks, videos, podcasts, there's personal guidance. You guys have access to all of these things, classes, courses, and retreats. There's an introduction to the teachings of the Buddha coming up on Saturday at 1 p.m. Thai time. On Monday, I'm going to be starting a Foundation in the Path to Enlightenment course here in Chiang Mai, Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And then, of course, we have our regular Sunday, Wednesday, and Saturday classes as well. So you guys are more than welcome to attend any of these. And then there's some classes coming up in Mexico as well. Towards the middle to end of September, I'm going to be traveling to Mexico and teaching just south of Mexico City. And then I think the other city is pronounced Oaxaca. I'm not sure. I don't know how to pronounce any of these cities. I'm just going, and there's someone there that's going to take care of me and make sure I'm in the right place. So you guys can see all of this on the website. I have the names there of the cities, and you can register and you can see all of that stuff. So if you guys happen to be in that region of the world and you'd like to join for a live class in Mexico, you're more than welcome to join. So thank you all for joining, and perhaps we'll see you guys in a future class. Be well and have a lovely rest of your day. Take care. Sawadee ka.
Thank you for listening to this podcast. To provide support for this podcast, visit patreon.com/support Buddha. To access more teachings, visit buddhadailywisdom.com. There, you will discover a full range of courses, retreats, and online resources to assist you on the path to enlightenment. Remember to establish a daily, consistent meditation practice, along with learning and practicing these teachings. A well-developed meditation practice is the foundation in which to train the mind to attain enlightenment.